Vacation mode on
I was gonna
Onorato
say,
and Miller.
You're going full flow, full beard,
Yep.
big hair.
Few days at the beach will do that to me.
You look like you've spent a few
Tom
days
Hanks
at a beach somewhere.
in what's
Castaway?
that movie? Castaway?
Yeah, on an island.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
no razor.
Yeah, sometimes I'd like to be on an island. It's Chris, it's Ash, it's Onorato and Miller. We have a loaded show of guests for you this week. Vacation, like I said, but we are still doing this live on a Wednesday night. So if you're catching us on TV over the weekend, you catch us midweek on social media, News Channel 13's Facebook and YouTube. Bunch of guests, like I said. We'll talk with NASCAR driver Ty Gibbs. We'll talk with comedian Brad Williams coming to the Palace Theater in Albany. And a couple of local guests and advocates for cancer and lupus. We'll tell you what they're up to and their mission. Let's get going here on Onorato and Miller.
This is Onorato and Miller, sponsored by Alpenhaus.
All right, here we go. Alpenhaus, Saratoga Eagle with Michelob Ultra, Novice, Performance Industrial, Marcella's with us here on Onorato and
Sam,
Miller. And
I don't know how you do it, Sam.
He doesn't miss.
You still manage to find us, even when we do some off time schedules.
He likes Sam.
Yeah.
Get those notifications.
Yeah, no doubt.
For the
We're going
Onorato
live.
and Miller
Oh, perfect.
Facebook page and News Channel 13 Facebook page. Exactly. All right, we're starting with business.
And now, dirty, difficult, and done. Sponsored by Performance Industrial.
Bill Miller, Karen Miller, Sean Wilcoxon, the great team at Performance Industrial. Never a job that's too dirty or too difficult for them to get it done. The Bills finally get it done here.
Done.
Signing James Cook, their running back, 4 years, $48 million, 30 of that guaranteed. We'll talk about his season that he had last year that earned him this deal. But my thought is, the Bills as a franchise know the window is now, or at least the relatively near future. So like, hey, between 2025 and 2028, we got to try to win one of these things while Josh Allen is in his prime and really able to still play with some reckless abandon in terms of running the football. And so this makes sense. Get it done.
Yeah, you got to get it done. I mean, you need a running back. He's as good as it gets, especially as a pass catcher. He's not just a running back. He's almost as good a receiver as he is a running back. My thing is always like, I know we always say we reset the market. For him to have the highest guaranteed money in the last 5 years is kind of like, does he deserve that? Probably not. But you got to do what you got to do at this point.
Yeah, you see the 16 rushing touchdowns from a year ago that was tied with Derrick Henry for tops in the NFL. But the year before that, Ash, he had 2 rushing touchdowns. So, you know, maybe the Bills decided last year, hey, we're just not going to let Josh run it at the goal line as much as he has in the past. And so we give it to James Cook. Possible. Is he a top 5 running back in the league?
Probably not.
I wouldn't say so, but is he at this point kind of critical to the Bills maybe winning a Super Bowl?
Yep, I think so.
So we go with it.
I think you're right.
All right, we're beginning a stretch of guests here on Onorato and Miller. Comedian Brad Williams is up first. He's coming to the Palace Theater. Funny guy. Had a chance to talk with him earlier in the week. Here's our conversation with Brad Williams, and then you'll hear from NASCAR driver Ty Gibbs. Back right after this on Onorato and Miller.
Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
A superior smooth taste worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Back on Onorato and Miller and coming to the Palace Theater August 21st. Brad Williams, comedian, with us here on the show. Brad, man, it's great to have you on, dude. We are fans in Albany, New York at the NBC station. I was telling people in the newsroom, we're going to have you on. They're like, oh my God, that guy is so funny. And you know what strikes a lot of people, and it does me as well here, the ability I think good comedians have, right, is to be self-aware, to be self-deprecating. That can't always be easy, though, right?
I think it is.
Okay.
I think it's self-deprecating, but that's just how I was taught. I think it's easy to be self-deprecating because I was taught at a very young age, hey, what you have, not a lot of people have, and people may have questions. So when you meet people, make a joke like right away, and then you can, and then they'll feel at ease, and then you can move on from that. But those are the life lessons that I had growing up. I don't know if everyone's taught that way. Were you taught to make ginger jokes like right away?
No.
No. Okay. See, I would argue that if you do that, then the first person that makes a ginger joke, it's kind of like a jab to the face, and you're like, whoa, hey, I didn't know. And then, but then I go in, I make the dwarf joke right away. I take the power away. Now, if you make a dwarf joke, it won't be as good as mine, and you look lame in the process. So, but that's my mentality. Obviously, my parents weren't perfect, but it's that is up to interpretation.
Yeah, it's a great lesson because I think you're right. You then assume the power of whatever that joke is, right? That somebody thinks they have coming.
Yes, and let's be honest. In the game of life, dwarves don't get the power mostly. It's like that, maybe a limbo competition. Sort of if there's a Lord of the Rings cosplay going on.
Yep.
But other than that, we typically don't have the power. We didn't have the power to hook up with Snow White. She friend zoned all of us. All of us. All 7. She was with 7 diamond miners. And she's like, yeah, but little guys. So I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to go with the guy that made out with me while I was legally dead. He seems like a better choice than the 7 diamond miners.
That's not creepy. Yeah.
All with very distinct emotions. So I can pick, there's a guy whose literal name was Happy. And she's like, nah, you're a happy diamond miner. Why would I want to go for you? There's this Prince guy over here who's into necrophilia. I'm gonna take a chance with him. Sorry, I've been going on a Snow White kick recently. It sounds like I would be my whole life, but it's a very recent thing.
It plays, man. Just that quick little tangent brings me to a thought I've had about comedians for a while, and I've never had an opportunity to ask one, or I've just passed up the opportunity. But I want to ask you, you must feel like every opportunity you get publicly to be funny is pressure packed. I'm just thinking about comedians who get their shot on the Tonight Show or any kind of late night talk show, right? I know you're on Kimmel. If somebody only sees you for 2 minutes, you want them to leave with the impression that, like, man, this guy is creative. He's funny. I would go see him in concert, or I would go watch his TV special. That there's pressure there, right?
I mean, technically, but I don't know. I don't really feel that pressure. For me, I don't feel the pressure to be funny. I feel the opportunity to be funny. I'm like this. I'm like this whether we were giving an interview promoting my show at the Palace Theater in Albany. I'm like this whether I just met you at a bar. Sometimes I'm like this to a point where I have to stop and go, oh, I don't know you that well. I should not be making those types of assumptions and those types of jokes in front of a person I just met. In fact, my wife my wife and I have a safe word. It has nothing to do with sex. Don't worry. You don't have to hit the dump button. But my wife and I have a safe word for when I'm taking a joke too far or when I'm making jokes in situations I should not be making jokes. The word is cephalopod. So if I hear that, then I know, like, oh, Right. We're in an accounting office. Like I shouldn't be making deductible double entendres.
So you need an on-off button switch.
Yeah. No, I do. And there's times like if I'm at the parent teacher press conference going with my kid, that's when I have to go, hey, just be dad right now. Like don't come in there and be like, what's the deal with Play-Doh? Like don't do that. Like come in and actually like learn what your child is doing and and then get all the jokes out on the way home.
Based on that quick little Seinfeld snippet there, I just recently saw him in concert in Saratoga Springs here near us.
Nice.
And there was a heckler.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, whoa, like, I mean, I don't know that anybody has done it. You can argue whether or not you think Jerry Seinfeld's funny, but he's been successful at it for a very long time. And I'm thinking, somebody's going to take a shot here at Seinfeld. If and when you get heckled by an audience member, do you blow past it? Do you have fun with it? How do you approach it?
Fun would be a really interesting word. Fun's doing a lot of heavy lifting in that segment. I don't really like it. It's not fun for me to destroy a heckler because for me, I've worked really hard on these jokes. The jokes I've had are really good. But yeah, I do feel I have to address it. But so I'm in theaters now, much like I'm guessing you saw Seinfeld in a very large theater. So the thing that, like, if you're in a comedy club and someone says something, more or less the entire comedy club heard it.
Yeah.
If you're at a theater and someone says something, you have to do the very quick math in your head of how many people heard this, how many people will know what I'm talking about. Many times, if I feel like it's on the link or it's on the brink of being something I have to address, I will stop and say, what was that? And I'll make them repeat it because then it'll be quiet and then everyone will hear it. It also gives me time to load up. And which, by the way, when a comedian looks at you in the audience and says, what was that? Never respond. Just be quiet. We're giving you an out. We're giving you the chance to be like, I will say nothing now. I will Homer Simpson meme into the bushes, and then no one will know who I am, and I will be able to walk to the parking lot peacefully. Or you can double down, repeat yourself, and that's not going to go well for you. And that's not to say that comedians are exceptional at this kind of stuff. It's just to say we have more reps. We know what to do. We know tricks. There's lines that will work every time, and we just have more experience than the average person. You just thought of this line that you have in your head just now, and you thought it was great.
Yeah,
we have the Rolodex of comebacks that we have acquired over a career. We're kind of like Liam Neeson and Taken. We have a very particular set of skills that make us a nightmare for people like you that are just in the audience as civilians and yell out casual things. Although I imagine Seinfeld now, with the amount of money that you're heckling a billionaire, and not even like on the street. Like you're not like the guy that threw a pie at Bill Gates or whatever. You're not that. You're not protesting Elon Musk. You bought a ticket to watch a billionaire do what he does to become a billionaire, and you're like, I protest. I don't get the logic.
Yeah.
I truly don't. It's not even that you are consuming the product for the very first time. Like, you're allowed to take a sip of Coca-Cola and say, I don't like this Coca-Cola. But if you've had Coca-Cola for 30 years, and then one time you take a sip of Coca-Cola and go, you know what?
Yeah, not for me.
They need to have a piece of my mind. Like, that's the logic in it. And I imagine it wasn't Jerry's first joke of the night. I imagine it wasn't his last joke of the night.
No.
So my whole thing is, if you don't like a joke, cool. Sit there, wait 15 seconds. There will be another joke.
Yep. And Jerry went after him. It entertained the crowd, as he should have.
Yeah.
I've been following you on Instagram, and you did a trip through
Montana, Idaho, and
Just
and a Dakota too.
Yeah, there was a
Okay.
Dakota somewhere in there.
Yeah, a Dakota. So I
Like-
thought, man, comedy has taken you all over this country, and I
Yeah,
wonder when you
like
started.
a private school full of white kids. There was a Dakota.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, it could be male or female. Comedy's taking you everywhere. When you started, how far did you think this thing would go?
My goal when I started doing stand-up comedy was to just be a traveling, working headliner, and I thought I would go to comedy clubs. I thought if I was just a traveling, working headliner, going to comedy clubs, that was the end game. I never thought it would go beyond that. So now, like last year, when we went to Oslo, Norway, and there was a theater, like 1,200 people of Norwegians. I've never been to Norway. I don't know if you know this. Don't speak Norwegian. And then there's people there, and they're excited, and they're thrilled to see the jokes, and they know what I'm talking about. They get the references, and they would come up to me during the meet and greets and ask me about my dog Diego. Like, you're like, this is insane.
Yeah.
This is weird. When I did the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee, where Johnny Cash, Loretta Lynn, Dolly Parton, name your
So cool.
person in music, they've been on that stage, and now I'm telling penis jokes on that stage. I don't know if that's, you could look at our entertainment industry as like, well, something's wrong with that, but I never thought it would get to this. I don't think you get into comedy. If you get into comedy seeking fame, fortune, whatever, like if you get into comedy going, I'm going to sell out stadiums one day. I don't know if you'll get there. That's the wrong reason to get into it. It's not the right reason to get into comedy. You get into comedy because you can't do anything else. And that is very accurate when it comes to me. I cannot do anything else. It's funny because literally right before we got on this interview, I saw on my ring cam back home, because believe it or not, this is not my house.
You don't have shower on the door to the bathroom at home?
Yeah, this says shower right there. No, this is not my home. This looks like I got kidnapped and I'm going to read a hostage letter. But no. So I on the ring door cam, I see a man entering my house who I don't know, and my assumption is, oh yeah, that's the man my wife has to hire to be a man in the house because I can't. I don't do those types of things. And sure enough, yeah, that's the man that she hired to be a man and do man stuff around the house and that I cannot do.
You got a guy. That's all that matters. You got a guy. Brad, I get you out of here on this, man. People who go to the Palace on August 21st to see you, they've seen your TV specials. They've watched stuff on social media. What are they getting at the Palace that, you said I'm working hard on these jokes.
Yeah.
Why are you proud, I guess, to hit the stage with what you've got now?
Well, hey, you should come see it. If all you've consumed of me is you watch some specials on YouTube, maybe you watched a special on Amazon, or just clips on Instagram. When I do meet and greets after the show, one of the top things I always hear is, "Hey, I loved watching your videos. I had no idea it was this fun live." Go see stand-up comedy live. There's a different feeling you get watching. Now, if I amuse you on your little device, great, wonderful. I'm very happy to do so. But there's nothing like that communal aspect and having everyone laughing at the same thing at the same time. And especially in a theater like the Palace Theater, which is just gorgeous. And so you're going to have over 1,000 people in a room at the same place at the same time. And no one cares who you voted for. No one cares what race you are. No one cares who you're sleeping with that night. No one cares. No one cares what gender you are. Everyone is just in the same room at the same place at the same time, just going, man, dwarfs are funny. And that's a great place to be.
PalaceAlbany.org, place to get your tickets. Brad, thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
A superior smooth taste worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
This is what summer should feel like. Warm nights, dusty roads, and the freedom to disappear for a while. At the Summer Spectacular at Alpenhaus, we're helping you find your escape. Travel trailers from $136 a month and fifth wheels starting at $345 a month. It's time to unplug, unwind, and chase down those memories you swore you'd make. So load up the cooler, leave the schedule behind, and follow the road wherever it goes. Don't just remember summer, go live it. The Summer Spectacular is going on now at Alpenhaus RV in Amsterdam and Saratoga.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Back on Onorato and Miller and getting awfully close to the playoffs right now, the NASCAR Cup Series. Ty Gibbs, our guest right now, and talking about the playoffs. Ty, you made it last year, but you know how this goes, and it's funny, we talked with Chase Briscoe. He's like, you want to get a win just to make sure you're safe. You got in last year, though, just because you were so consistent, and here you are again, driving consistently again. Are you able to appreciate the points you're accumulating without a win, or is that difficult?
Yeah, honestly, I don't really care about the points a whole lot. For us, it's just going for a lot of wins, and I think we're capable of doing it, and that's kind of like our program.
You were obviously incredibly successful in the Xfinity Series. You're champion there. Then you come over to the Cup Series and you're Rookie of the Year. You always hear this all the time in sports, right? Like, pressure is a privilege because that means you're in a position to succeed or you're doing well, and so people expect things from you. How have you dealt with the pressure, though, to succeed at such a young age?
Yeah, for me, I've been very blessed in my life to, get what I get to do and to drive race cars. And, I really am honored to do that. There's, some nerves involved with racing and emotions. But for me, I don't really, the pressure is just, I don't really feel like that. I just really enjoy racing cars. And I'm very happy to get to do what I get to do and to go to work every day. I'm very, very happy. And I look forward to it as well. So, the pressures, I don't really, it's just what it is. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So, I don't spend too much time thinking about my feelings or, kind of getting emotional about it. I just enjoy driving race cars, as simple as it sounds.
Well, you were either going to be a race car driver or a football player, right? I mean, I hate to.
I don't know about football player. I'm not that big, but.
When did you ever play football at any point in your life?
I did. I played Pop Warner when I was younger for a while, for 2 years, 3 years probably. I played for football for probably 3 years.
And that's simplifying things. Obviously, your grandfather, your father, your cousins. I mean, there's football lineage here, but also race car driving back to your dad. So what did you learn early on about this sport that at 22 has allowed you to be so successful?
I really didn't grow up around the sport as much as, it would seem. I really grew up with my dad under his Supercross team. And so I really wanted to race motorcycles, and that was kind of my goal. And if my mom didn't step in, I would have just done that and I would never have done this. But, fortunately she did step in, and I enjoy driving race cars, of course, make a lot more money, and it's a lot safer too. So probably a better option at the end of the day, but I love motorcycle racing and probably would have done that. But yeah, I don't know. I just was always not a lot of pressure on there what I needed to do. And, of course school is important, but outside of that was, I enjoyed racing. My parents, helped me pursue that passion and kind of guided me into making, right decisions and some things. And, but I just enjoy driving race cars, and they just, let me follow my passion, let me, follow my dreams. So it's kind of where I've ended up, and I enjoy it. Yeah,
clearly the right decision. All right. For somebody who maybe has never been to a NASCAR race, only watches it on TV, but watches it consistently on TV, what's one thing, and maybe the one thing, that they'd show up to the Speedway and go, whoa, I didn't realize that? what would jump out at somebody?
I think I always hear people talk about the banking of of some of the racetracks. It's very steep, and I think that's really stands out. You know, they had the Speedway Classic, the MLB game.
Did you watch some of that?
I did. I watched only the night that it got canceled, but they were just talking about how much it was banked on the broadcast, and like they were spun out about how banked it was. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that, you know, people kind of are like blown away by.
All right, so then this is a little different. You're pretty darn good on the road courses, and obviously that's what the Glen is all about. Why is that kind of comfortable for you, seemingly, when it's, you know, unique in the schedule? It's different in the schedule, and drivers have to really adjust, but you seem to do so well.
I don't know. I just enjoy driving on the road courses. It's fun as much as I do in the ovals. We've just been really fast. You know, I raced a little bit of go-karts when I was younger, but I didn't really do much of it. I just always worked out, and we've been fast at all the road courses. And I did some Trans Am stuff, but I only played 4 races. But I don't know. I just like the road courses are fun. I still think the other ones are as fun as well. So just what it is.
How does it take an adjustment period? I mean, do you need to get onto the track days before, or are you able to pick it up like that?
We do this. We have a simulator to a golf simulator, and we use that to kind of prepare for most of our races.
Okay. And that's good enough. And the thing with the Glen is it's faster than most road courses.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's definitely a faster track for sure.
Yeah. Okay. With 3 weeks to go, 3 races to go before the playoffs, does your mentality change in any way? I mean, I know you're still so young and early in your career here, and maybe you don't feel the pressure of, hey, I've got to make the playoffs this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. But do you approach these final few weeks any differently?
I know not really. We just try to see if we can go in, and outside of that, it just is what it is. And there's a lot of uncontrollable things in the sport as well with the way things lay out. So just try to do the best I can in the position I'm in. Yeah.
Are you a Commanders fan? Is that something?
Yeah, for sure. I am 100%.
All right. How are we feeling, man? I mean, obviously Jane Daniels comes on the scene like crazy last year. You're right there with the Eagles. How are we feeling?
Yeah, really good. I wish we could have won the NFC Championship because I do not like the Eagles fans that much. But very, very classless group of fans. But we've already beat them once. I think we're capable of. They're very strong as well. Yeah. Jalen Hurts has done as always does a great job. So and they have a great team. But I'm very excited for this year. And last year was a surprise to the whole industry and to everybody in the sport. So I think that this year should be even more.
But a lot of scheduling conflicts for you once we get into the fall. Do you have guys getting into your helmet, giving you score updates? Do you have to go back and watch games? What's your
I'll probably go back and watch most of them. I probably during the weekends we'll go to a couple, but I'll probably go back and watch them. That's not that as big of a deal as that, but of course always follow it.
The great thing about novices, no matter who you are, they're going to put all the detail in the world into your brand. I feel like they have been a big part of my success, making me feel comfortable.
This is Harrison Butker, Super Bowl champion kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Claim your crown.
Get ready for the thrill of a lifetime with Tracker fishing boats. Available at Alpenhaus. Feel the rush as you reel in your trophy catch, supported by Tracker's unmatched stability. Prepare to conquer any challenge with cutting-edge tech at your fingertips and the freedom to explore without limits. Make waves this season and experience the ultimate fishing adventure with Tracker fishing boats at Alpenhaus. Your source for fun since 1964.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Back on Onorato and Miller and closing in on the 6th annual Dave Worden Classic, Wolfert's Roost. I'll be there, certainly. I've been there the last few years, and Dave is our guest here, somebody who has not only beaten cancer, but is beating cancer again and doing so much to raise awareness and money for the cancer battle when it comes specifically to melanoma. Dave, Thanks for doing the show, man. I can't wait to be back with you on the 25th. This golf tournament has been such a success. Are you surprised at what you've been able to accomplish?
I really am, Chris, and thank you for having me today. When we started out 6 years ago, I can remember I was sitting in a treatment room at Dana-Farber, and I'm like, they are doing such great work for me and other people. And I turned to my wife, Leisha, and said, I want to do a tournament now while I'm alive, while I'm fighting this, and don't want somebody to do something in my honor after. So it's grown from, a small tournament with maybe 15 foursomes to this year we'll have 36 foursomes. The entire tournament sold out. Tremendous support from sponsors, guests, and of course our huge silent auction, which is a major money raiser for the effort.
Yeah, you have such a great selection of items at that silent auction. And again, the Dave Worden Classic.com, even if it's sold out, the golf tournament itself, you can still make a donation through Dave's cause, the Jimmy Fund, going to the Dana-Farber Institute. Your first diagnosis, Dave, was in 2001. Do I have that right?
Yes.
You had a long stretch.
It's a long stretch. I was
clean.
diagnosed with melanoma in 2001, which people who may not know, melanoma is the deadliest form of skin cancer. Fortunately, I was able to catch it early enough, have surgery, tested lymph nodes, and it wasn't anywhere in my body. In 2019, I went back in to have something checked. They removed it, did a biopsy, and at that point, it was learned that I had metastatic melanoma. The interesting part, less than 10% of people who have been diagnosed with melanoma ever have a recurrence. And unfortunately, I was one of the non-lucky people. So at that point, I connected with Dana-Farber, have been with them ever since, because metastatic melanoma means that it spreads throughout your body. It's not confined to one place.
But you've shared this with me at your tournament when we do the interview, that doctors gave you how many years to live, and we are now how far along?
The initial prognosis with the diagnosis was 1 to 5. In June, I hit 6 years. What was interesting, on an appointment at the end of last year, I have both an oncologist and a surgical oncologist who does all my surgeries. He said, when you first came in, we expected you at 3 years. So I have doubled what their expectations in their mind were when I went in. And again, I owe it all to the tremendous care I've received there.
You also, and I'm finding a common theme with a lot of people who I talk with in terms of beating the life expectation after a cancer diagnosis and maybe beating the disease entirely. So many of you, and Dave, you're included in this group, have a positive mindset. And I rarely see anything but that from you. And I'm sure people who are in your daily life would say the same thing. Why?
A couple of years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, I was having a very difficult time. And at that point, my wife and I scheduled a European vacation. And at that time, we were talking to my oncologist and said, what do you think about making this trip? We were taking a lengthy trip, in some ways thinking, could it be my last? And Dr. Ott turned to us and said, be positive, go live your best life. And it just resonated so much, Chris. And that's what I've been doing ever since.
And now here you are, as I said, you are, yes, you're raising money, you're raising awareness, but you're doing more than that here. And I know you are a lifelong golfer. You point back to all those days on the golf course and maybe not having so much sunscreen awareness that we have now. Why did you feel compelled, Dave, to kind of take up more of a torch here, to be a messenger for melanoma?
You know, it was a case, you know, you don't think about it. I mean, I grew up on the St. Lawrence River. Sun and tans were part of your life, you know, and golfers don't take it seriously. I didn't. So if I didn't, many other people were in the same boat.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get that message out to people, how important it is to treat your body well and just do as much preventative care as you can.
And obviously you're being recognized. You sent me a little note about what the Melanoma Research Alliance has posted about you, right? Thanking you for your work in this field as well. That must in some way be reward. I understand you have a much greater battle here to win, but in some ways you've got to be able to look back at what you've accomplished and what you continue to do and be proud.
I really am. I mean, I don't do it for the recognition. I do it to help people, but being recognized by MRA, the Metastatic Research Alliance, was huge. They're a national organization. They are the largest fundraising effort for melanoma research in the country. And to be in that group is very rewarding. Tremendously rewarding, and it just shows and goes to the effort we're doing, that, you know, we're a grassroots effort, but every dollar counts.
So if you're not part of the foursomes playing the Dave Worden Classic this year, make sure you circle around this date for 2026. It is August 25th this year, but you can still make a donation. Again, DaveWordenClassic.com is the way to do that. How often do you still get out to play golf?
I play a couple times a week, which is remarkable. And my golf game is up and down, but the one thing that's great is that I don't sweat it. If I have a good round, great. If I have a bad round, I'm out golfing, and it can't be any better.
Well, I never have a good round, and I still kind of manage to have a little bit of fun out there when I do get out on the golf course. And Dave, you've shared some good news with me through email about your recent scans. You go back how often? And
I go back every 3 months. I will be back in September and then be back in December. We go, it's remarkable. They do head to body scans, look at everything, then checkups with the oncologist and the surgeon. And, you know, just if anything does pop up, then we take care of it, because I think I've mentioned to you, I've had 8 surgeries in 5 years. So we don't let it stay. We get the care we need and then move on and go back in 3 months.
Obviously, it's a necessity. It's something you have to do. How many of those moments are still kind of hold your breath every time you go?
It's a great question, because I'm part of a melanoma support group with other patients at Dana. And one of the things we talk about every month when we're on the call is scan anxiety, because you may be doing okay, you may not, but you have this appointment next week coming up, and you get very anxious about what the results are going to be. So I think where I've got to the point, Chris, is that I'm comfortable where I am. If I do take it, you know, have a turn for the worse, I've done everything I can, and they've done everything that they can do. We did the best to beat cancer. And if it changes, and that's what what's planned for me, that's what it is. But you still get a little anxious, but I've coped with that better, because initially it was a tremendous anxiety on me and my wife and family. So everybody.
Yeah. What do you say to those patients you're mentoring about maybe how to handle that anxiety?
I think it's a lot. Just be positive, live your best life. When you go into this, know you're in a great place, and they will do everything they can for you, no matter what comes up.
Dave, it's always good to talk with you, man.
It is, Chris. I want to add one more point, if I can.
Please.
So we do our tournament. I ended up at Dana-Farber, and I ended up for my own personal reasons. But as we talk, I've become like an ambassador on this. It's so funny. People will say, "Oh, I'm sorry to bring it up," and I'm like, "Actually, I'm glad you're bringing it up, because if what I've gone through can help one person in their battle with cancer, it's great." So I say, let them know. I go to Dana for my own reasons. If you want to go to Sloan, if you want to go to Langone, if you want to go to MD Anderson, that's up to you. Just go to an expert. I am my oncologist, which I am the luckiest person in the world. I knew nothing about him before. His name's Dr. Patrick Ott. He is the clinical director for the melanoma clinic at Dana-Farber. When I'm looking at the MRA website, he is recognized all over that site for the studies he's doing. So I'm fortunate in that, but nobody has to go there because Dave Worden goes there. Just go to somebody that specializes in it. Don't be, it's too much work. I can't be troubled with that. And I hear those things. And local people do the best they can. This isn't a reflection on them. It's go to some place where somebody specializes only in what you have.
Can't wait to see you on the 25th.
I can't wait to see you too, Chris. It's going to be a great day. It's promising and shaping up now to be our biggest ever.
Incredible.
And again, funding at the federal level has been cut significantly for research. So on my website, there's a donation page. If anybody wants to donate, 100% of what we raise goes to melanoma research.
And I know it's on the website as well, people. Please check it out, DaveWordenClassic.com. Dave talks about the need for more research into this specific cancer. Dave, thank you, buddy.
Okay, Chris. Thank you.
Imagine coming home after a long day and slipping into your own personal hot tub from Wellness Spas. Let the stress of the day melt away as you soak in the therapeutic benefits of the water. Our team at Alpenhaus wants to help you relax and enjoy the advantages of owning your very own hot tub. Now offering a whole new lineup from Wellness Spas, featuring models from their City Life and Peak Life lines. Alpenhaus Pools and Hot Tubs. Visit us at Clifton Park Center and Route 30 in Amsterdam.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Our next guest is Olivia Snell, who competed, multi-sport athlete at Greenwich, and then went to Lemoyne and was a cross-country runner, track and field, and now in an accelerated nursing program. You told me you get 1 year to figure this thing out. That's not a lot of time, and you're still doing so much for research for lupus and continuing to run competitively as well. Olivia, thank you for being on the show. It's so great to talk with you and to get to know your story a little bit and to share it with others. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm always really excited in any capacity to talk about lupus and running and chronic illness in general. And so I'm just really happy to be here.
The little bit that I know about lupus, it seems to me like, maybe you pick a different activity other than running constantly when you have lupus, considering what it can do to your joints. And I read doctors said, I don't know that she'll finish high school athletics. How have you managed to push through the pain of it all?
Yeah, so I did have a cardiologist who told me maybe athletics is not for me and maybe running just is not something that I should be doing to the extent that I am, but I use that as motivation. I really don't like being told that I am not capable of doing something. So I kind of do it out of spite, but running became such a phenomenal outlet for me. I ran in high school, as you said, but I was never very good. But I did go to the state championship my senior year for the race walk, for the mile race walk. And I talked to an athletic director and a coach at Lemoyne who ended up taking me on. I remember him saying, we don't have race walk in college, but if you're dedicated, I think we could turn you into a distance runner, which I was not a distance runner before. And so I said, you know what? Why not? I'll try anything once. I think that that's a really fun way to live your life. And so I got to Lemoyne, um, ended up running cross country. I remember the very first day of practice my freshman year. It was incredibly warm, and heat and humidity is a big trigger for me. And I remember we had a time trial, and my coach did not have me run it just because of the state that I was in. And I distinctly remember him driving me back from the time trial, and he said, you know, like, this is going to be a partnership. I'm going to teach you about running, and you're going to teach me about lupus. And kind of from that moment, running became something so grounding for me. It gave me such an outlet. I like to think, you know, every run that I go on is one run that lupus can't take from me. So it's me taking back something from my disease, right? And it gave me such an outlet. I founded a chronic illness awareness club at Lemoyne. I was able to share my story at the NCAA student athlete leadership training. I have been on some podcasts and written some pieces for various organizations, the Hidden Opponent, our athletic conference, just about my story. I've shared on social media and been able to connect with other sick individuals, which is just, it's such a blessing to be able to meet other people like me and be the person that I wish I had when I was younger. I mean, obviously lupus is not something that you can see on the outside. I look like a perfectly healthy 23-year-old girl, and you would never even know that I'm in significant pain the majority of the time. And so I think running just gave me such a voice and such a platform, and I am just so grateful every day for everything that it has given me.
I feel a pain with every step as I'm running, but for very different reasons. You're feeling pain throughout your run?
I'm feeling pain, honestly, like all the time, running or not.
So how do you, like, mentally, there's a barrier, right? You hear all the time, like, hey, our bodies physically are capable of more than we think. It's usually the mind that gives up first. How are you able to mentally push through?
Yeah, I think that, you know, in our lives, everyone wears masks around different people, and some people are performative around others, and that's just kind of, you know, that's the way society is. But running, I truly believe, is a place where you cannot wear a mask. It just comes down to who you are at your core, and who you are when you're in pain, and who you are when you want to stop. And I think it truly is an art form, just seeing like what the mind is capable of. I mean, obviously there are physical components, but when it comes down to discipline and grit, it's really just all in your head. And so I truly think the art, or the art of running, has made me more determined and more resilient, and it has taught me so much.
And you're being recognized, one, for your resilience, but also your fundraising and awareness as well around lupus. The New York Roadrunners recognized you for one of their top awards as a finalist. You've raised $90,000 plus for the Lupus Research Alliance, and you've run the New York City Marathon.
Yes.
I know you have another box you're going to check at the end of this year, but do you ever take the time at 23, probably difficult to really appreciate it, but do you ever take the time to step back and realize what you've accomplished?
Yeah, so I was part of a team that raised $90,000. It was not just me. So just want to put that out there. There were a number of individuals also raising money, and together we raised over $90,000 for lupus research, which I think is really incredible. I do find myself reflecting quite a bit. This is kind of funny. I was spending time with one of my friends yesterday, and we were going through this game. It was like question cards, and one of them was, what's one moment in your life that you wish you could relive? And my answer was crossing the finish line at the New York City Marathon. And I just talked about, I still cannot believe that I did that. And sure, it was slow, but I think in any capacity, running a marathon is such a personal accomplishment. And I think for me, just because of what I deal with, it was so emotional and ethereal. And also, about 3 weeks before the marathon, I did get COVID. And I was, you know, being immunocompromised, I was pretty sick. And so leading up to the marathon, I honestly was terrified. I did not think I was going to finish. But I think that like just getting to that starting line, I was so excited. I think sometimes I have irrational enthusiasm. But I think that's a really beautiful way to view the world. And I remember being so scared, but also just so excited, just to make it to the starting line in general. And then I started running, and I don't think I stopped smiling the entire 26 miles. I look at pictures of myself and I am grinning ear to ear. It was just the most incredible experience, and it was so emotional. I remember crying during it and just thinking about like everything that I worked through on a daily basis and just how proud of myself that I was. And a bunch of my friends and past teammates actually sent notes to my sister, and my sister wrote them on my gels. And so every 30 minutes when I took a gel, yeah, I got to read a note from a past friend or teammate. And that was just so incredible. And I'm just so grateful to have so many phenomenal people in my life who support me and who know they can't understand what I'm going through to the extent that I can, but still support me and are proud of me and know that I am facing some difficult battles. And the New York City Marathon, I think about it all the time. It was just the most incredible experience. I am running Honolulu in December with the Lupus Research Alliance as well. So I'm very excited for that, and just being able to be connected with such an incredible organization. I mean, the Lupus Research Alliance is the largest nonprofit, non-government funded funder of lupus research in the entire world. They've been instrumental in so many treatments and research around so many different treatments. And obviously, I am very passionate about running, and I am also very passionate about chronic illness, and being able to merge my passions continuously. It was so incredible in college, but now that I'm still able to do it outside of the collegiate setting, I am just so incredibly grateful for every opportunity that the Lupus Research Alliance has given me to share my story and use my passion to, help further the agenda of raising awareness for research surrounding lupus, awareness for lupus in general, and eventually finding a cure.
And you were a double major and double minor at Lemoyne, I read, and now in this hyper aggressive, intense nursing program. Why nursing?
So I ultimately decided that, I was really sick in high school, and I remember going to Boston Children's and seeing different physicians, and there were so many physicians that I saw that I just did not feel heard. I mean, the first doctor that I saw told me I was an over-emotional preteen who needed to go to therapy because it was all in my head. And I have always been a very outspoken person. I have no problem advocating for myself. That is just the person that I am. And no disrespect to anyone who maybe feels a little bit quieter or has those troubles, but I think I have a really unique perspective that is going to make me a really good healthcare professional. I don't mean to sound like, oh, I'm going to be so good. That's not what I mean. But I think, being able to relate to other sick kids, I just really want to be an advocate. And so my goal is to be a nurse practitioner. I was going back and forth between PA and nurse practitioner, and ultimately it came down to just as a vocation, PAs focus on pathology and disease, whereas nurse practitioners focus on the patient as a whole. Both incredibly important. I just know that I want to focus more on making my patients feel heard and seen. And the goal is to go into pediatric oncology. I actually just spent the past couple of days volunteering at Camp Good Days, which is such a special place. It's a camp for kids who suffer from sickle cell and cancer. And I just really love being able to be involved in so many phenomenal organizations and ways that I can use my experience to help others. And ultimately, I just think that I am so lucky to be in the position that I am and to have received the education that I have. Not everyone has these opportunities. And so I think it is almost my duty to use my position to give back to others. So that's kind of why I chose nursing. And I have been in my clinicals and interacting with patients, and I am just so in love with it and so in love with helping other people, work through the diseases and conditions and ailments and injuries that they experience. And the University of Rochester is a really special place, and I'm just so, I know I keep saying it, but I'm just so grateful to be where I am.
From Greenwich to Lemoyne to the New York City Marathon finish line, soon to be the finish line in Honolulu, and then the healthcare workforce. Olivia, incredible. Everything you've been through and continue to push through in terms of lupus and heck, even just running 26.2. Thanks for doing this interview with us. And I know people will be Googling lupus afterwards. We're going to point them in the right direction as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
A superior smooth taste worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
The temps are rising and so are the savings during the Summer Spectacular at Alpenhaus. We're turning up the heat with travel trailers at just $136 a month and fifth wheels from $345 a month. These deals are scorching. And if you're ready to trade up, we're giving top dollar for your trade so you can roll through summer in something fresh, cool, and built for the open road. But just like a heat wave, it won't last forever. These red hot savings are melting fast. Catch the Summer Spectacular going on now at Alpenhaus RV in Amsterdam and Saratoga.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Back on Onorato and Miller now, and still in vacation mode here on Onorato and Miller. Fun stretch of interviews
Irrational
there.
enthusiasm.
That's what
I said,
jumped out at you.
If I was running
Yeah.
marathons, I would not have irrational enthusiasm.
No, tough.
I would have no enthusiasm.
Right, tough to have any enthusiasm. Forget irrational. In the baseball world here, in the Mets and Yankees get on track in the final minute we've got with you all. Pete Alonso is now the Mets' all-time franchise leader in career home runs, passing Darryl Strawberry. He
Feels
hit
like it happened quickly.
253 and 254 Tuesday night. And the Mets snapped a 7-game losing streak, even more importantly.
Yep.
Well, Alonso's rookie year, he hit 54 or whatever he hit. I forget exactly what it was. But didn't he hit like one or two more than Judge, which was a rookie record, right?
Yeah, my guess is it probably happened a lot quicker
Not
than
that
Darryl.
long ago, and my memory is already escaping me. Strawberry has held the record since 88.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
He's
You have
like
to go back and do the math.
synonymous with that, and now Pete kind of takes the crown from him.
Yanks clinging to a wild card spot here as we do the show live on Wednesday night, August 13th. They are 4-7 in the month of August with a 1-game wild card lead.
Judge is back.
Judge is back. Will that make enough of a difference for the Yanks? They'll get into the playoffs, won't they?
Clinging. You just said clinging. They're clinging.
Clinging. Yes, clinging, but currently in.
Currently in.
Enjoy the weekend, everyone.